Good morning students. Today we are going to start with a new lesson of class 8 science, that is chapter number 5, coal and petroleum. So before we will start with the chapter, we are having one very commonest level question, and that is what are actually coal and petroleum. Okay, what are actually coal and petroleum? So we know this thing that coal and petroleum are actually belonging to the category of natural resources. Now the question arises that what do you mean by natural resources? What do you mean by natural resources? Yes, the resources that are present naturally or that are provided to us by nature are called natural resources. We are using natural resources since a long duration of time. Now talking about the types of natural resource, so basically there are two types of natural resources. We can say it like that: renewable natural resources and non-renewable natural resources. Renewable, it means those which can be renewed, okay, and non-renewable, it means those which can't be renewed, okay. And now talking about, these are the categories of resources, okay. Now talking about the category of natural resources, we are having inexhaustible natural resources, inexhaustible natural resources, okay, and the next one is exhaustible natural resource, exhaustible natural resources. So if we talk about inexhaustible, exhaust it means जो खत्म होने की कगार पे पहुंच सकता है, okay. So inexhaustible it means it's just the opposite of that, this one, okay. So inexhaustible it means that can't be over. If you can use it in a long amount, for long duration of time also, then also it will not be over. For example, air, we can use air, we are using air day and night, okay. Sunlight, we are using the sunlight in a huge amount. Soil, we are always using soil, okay. So all these certain things are under the category of inexhaustible natural resource, okay. And under the category of exhaustible natural resources, we are having fossil fuels. We are having fossil fuels, yes, fossil fuels. Now the question arises here, what do you mean by fossil fuels? So here you can see I have written a definition at the very last of this one. Here it is mentioned: remains of plants and animals trapped between the layers of rocks under high pressure and temperature, okay, for millions of years. It is actually the how they are formed, okay. So what do you mean by fossil fuel? Fossil fuel are actually the remains of plants and animal. In simple language we can say this, and the question arises here, how they made? So they are made under high pressure and temperature by millions of years, okay, by the result of millions of years, है ना. बहुत millions of years तक क्या होता है, हाई प्रेशर और टेम्परेचर में जो रिमेन्स ऑफ प्लांट्स और एनिमल्स हैं वो ट्रैप्ड रहते हैं लेयर्स ऑफ रॉक्स के बीच में, और एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ दैट वन, एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ अ नेचुरल प्रोसेस, द फॉसिल फ्यूल्स आर made, the fossil fuels are made, okay. Now if we talk about what are the things that are included under fossil fuel, so here the very common is coal, okay, next is petroleum, and the another one is natural gas. Coal, petroleum and natural gas, okay. So now we will discuss about coal, petroleum and natural gas, okay. Okay students, so we will go through the very first one, that is coal, okay, that is coal. Now if we talk about coal, so coal is the most commonest fuel that are used by humans, okay. It is many years ago it is used in railway engines, it is used in railway engines to produce steam, okay. You have heard about steam engines, right? So for the running or for the working of steam engines, coal is used. You might have seen coal or steam engines in many of the movies. Another one is the thermal power plants. Okay, so coal is widely used in many of the thermal power plants to produce electricity. Okay, we are having a very common thermal plant in our locality also, that is in Mundi, that is MP Power Grid, okay, or MP PGCL. Okay, so that one is the thermal power plant that actually works using coal. Okay, it is producing electricity using the coal. Now, as we talked earlier also, that how coal is formed by the remains of plants and animals, okay, that are buried inside under high pressure and temperature over millions of years. Okay, it is actually the process how fossils are made, but it is somehow fossil means what? Coal also. Okay, so it's almost similar to that one. So plants, remains of plants and animals that are buried inside under high pressure and temperature over millions of years results in the formation of fossil fuels, and in that category we are having coal. I hope you are getting this one. Okay, now moving to the next one, we are further talking about coal. Okay, so if I talk about coal, so coal mainly consists of carbon. Okay, now what's next? So it is actually the process of conversion of dead vegetation. The process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. The formation of coal is somehow called carbonization. Okay, now what do you mean by carbonization and why we are talking about carbon? Because carbon is the main content of fossil fuel. Because of the presence of carbon, the fossil fuels, we are able to use the fossil fuels and they are combustible. Okay, they are easy to burn. Okay, now one further thing that I have written over here is that coal is having variety. Okay, coal is having variety. So I have written here two names, PET and anthracite. So PET is obtained in the very first stage of coal formation. PET is obtained in the very first stage of कोल फॉर्मेशन. इट मीन्स जब कोल फॉर्मेशन स्टार्ट होता है तो उसकी जो सबसे फर्स्ट स्टेज होती है उसमें हमें क्या मिलता है? पैट. जो क्या है, जो भी क्या है वो कोल ही है, लेकिन कैसी क्वालिटी का है वो? द मोस्ट इन्फीरियर क्वालिटी. इट मीन्स उसमें क्वालिटी कैसी उसकी? लो क्वालिटी है. ओके, और एंथ्रासाइट क्या है? इट इज़ द बेस्ट कोल. ओके, इट इज़ द बेस्ट वैरायटी ऑफ कोल. क्यों? क्योंकि ये सुपीरियर क्वालिटी है. नाउ द क्वेश्चन अराइजेज हियर कि वैरायटी कैसे डिसाइड करें? हम कैसे कह सकते हैं कि ये वाला जो है पेट ये है इन्फीरियर क्वालिटी और एंथ्रासाइट जो है वो सुपीरियर क्वालिटी है. इट्स जस्ट बिकॉज बाय द अमाउंट ऑफ कार्बन प्रेजेंट इन दैट वन. ओके, इट मीन्स पेट जो है उसमें कार्बन कंटेंट कम होता है, इसलिए वो इन्फीरियर क्वालिटी है कोल की. और एंथ्रासाइट जो है उसमें कार्बन कंटेंट हाई अमाउंट में होता है, इसलिए वो बेस्ट और सुपीरियर क्वालिटी ऑफ कोल कहलाता है. आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस वन. लेट्स हैव अ रिवाइज वन. वी हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट कोल, द कॉमनेस्ट फ्यूल. It is used in railway engines to produce steam. It is also used in thermal power plants to produce electricity, and it is formed by the remains of plants and dead animals, okay, that are buried inside and over high pressure and temperature over millions of years the coal is formed. Okay, and if we talk about coal, the coal mainly consists of carbon, and the process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. Now at the last we have gone through the types of coal, that is the PET and the anthracite. PET is the inferior quality and anthracite is the superior quality, and the quality is defined by the carbon content present in this one, present in the coal. This is all about coal. In the next one we will go through petroleum and natural gas.